Weird. Don't see an origin. Oh, here's more. Okay.
There's no fencing or anything. And it's actually pretty slippery because it's sandstone.
Yeah, there's
no railing, nothing.
You just slide off. So I have to cross over this.
Imagine hiking into pure silence. No roads, no phone signal, only the scrape of your boots and the low hiss of wind. At first, that isolation feels like freedom. Then it changes. The quiet sharpens. Shadows stretch longer than they should. Today, we're diving into 6 chilling camping encounters that were all caught on camera. Let's dive in.
Water rolling down my face. It's not tears, it's sweat. I already had to stop and layer down and lather up on the sunscreen. I'm trying to wear like sun shirts and things like that to protect my skin, but it's just too hot for that. I can't breathe. What's this? Like bloody tracks of some sort. All the way. Well, we should definitely follow them. Of course, they're leading in the other direction. Is there a crime scene up here? Weird. Don't see an origin. Oh, here's more. Okay. Yeah, I just felt a little uneasy about it. Maybe it's just been such a long time since I've camped out in a tent in a place that I'm not familiar with, that the feeling is coming from that, but also part of my logical mind just reasons that, you know, I'm here because of the proximity to water, and the wild animals that live in this area have the same interest. And when I first got here, I heard some rustling of what I'll say is a mammal up the hill just away. Hey! Get out of here. Get out of here. Okay, whatever that is, it is not intimidated by me, and I can't see anything, but I can hear it, and hopefully you can hear it too, to know I'm not crazy. I got 1 liter of water. I'm getting out of here. I'm not staying here tonight. Are you freaking kidding me?
January 2025. The creator behind the YouTube channel Nomad Unknown set out to kick off the year with a solo hike through Arizona's Superstition Mountains, a maze of scorched canyons and dry riverbeds known for breathtaking beauty and old frontier legends. Her channel usually features scenic routes and thoughtful trail tips. This time, the footage exposed something else entirely. At first, it looked like a perfect winter trek. Bright sky, sharp desert air, and miles of sandstone underfoot. But as the sun rose higher, the mood shifted. The desert grew oppressively hot and oddly hushed. Even the occasional bird call dropped away, until only the crunch of gravel under her boots remained. Then she noticed it, thin, dark smears across pale rock. At first glance, they resembled dried clay or rust. A closer look told another story, streaks that looked uncomfortably like blood. Beside them, faint paw prints cut away from the trail and vanished into thorny brush. She reasoned it might be a predator dragging prey, maybe a mountain lion. Logical enough, until more marks appeared farther along. By late afternoon, she reached a spring and set up camp, but the uneasy feeling didn't fade. A sour, metallic scent drifted through the air. Bird feathers clung to the branches overhead like silent warnings. From the slope above came a steady rustling, never loud, never approaching, but never stopping either. She tried to steady her nerves, convincing herself it was nothing. Then the sound circled. No footsteps, no obvious animal calls, just movement she couldn't pin down. Instinct overrode planning. She broke camp before nightfall, water barely packed, and walked out without once looking back. Later, as she recounted the trip, she admitted she wasn't sure what had stalked her. Some viewers believe she unknowingly set camp beside a fresh kill and that the predator, likely a big cat, returned. Others suspect something harder to name. The Superstition Mountains have long fed stories of spirits and strangers who never show their faces. One thing is certain, she listened to the unease most of us try to dismiss. If she had waited even an hour longer, the story might have ended very differently. If you like this type of weekly content, please consider hitting a like and subscribing for more videos just like this.
Hi guys, welcome to a new video. We're in the Red River Gorge in Kentucky, heading up to the natural bridge on their skylift. This is so cool. I like this hike up to the bridge. Just came from all the way back there.
This is way more than 100 feet.
This must be the top of the natural bridge, and there's no fencing or anything. And it's actually pretty slippery because it's sandstone.
Yeah, there's
no railing, nothing.
You just slide off.
I think this is called the Fat Man Squeeze. Probably try sideways. We actually get a reveal of the giant arch, the giant natural bridge here. Check this out. Isn't that incredible? So this Red River Gorge has a lot of natural formations. I think over 100 natural arches and natural bridges like this. And this one is one of the biggest ones.
It's a pizza oven. Yeah, there will be a pizza oven. Make a fire in there. Put your pizza.
For sure.
Pizza here.
Yeah.
That's it.
You must be hungry. Can't believe the rhododendrons are still in bloom up here. We're in July already, and they're still blooming.
We haven't seen anyone around yet, but some things are kind of sketchy around here. First of all, there's a bottle of alcohol in the tree. And then there's a bunch of gun shells. There's a shotgun shell. There's a gun cartridge there. There's some broken glass. There's another gun cartridge. When we were driving in,
I don't think it's worth the risk or whatever, just in case.
Yeah, we're not sure what it was all about.
Yeah.
If it was just, they're just standing there for no reason, or if they just don't want people staying here.
Who knows?
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
they didn't say anything. They just parked in front of the truck.
Yeah, so it's just
For
kind of
20
weird.
minutes.
There's no service here.
Next, we move to the rugged beauty of Kentucky, where Nick and Julie, a couple known for relaxed truck camping vlogs, filmed a trip that shifted from postcard perfect to quietly menacing. Their July visit to the Red River Gorge began like a nature lover's dream. They rode the skylift to the towering natural bridge, hiked past blooming rhododendrons, and captured sweeping views of sandstone cliffs. By late afternoon, with the sun dropping behind ridges, they followed a back road deeper into Daniel Boone National Forest to find an overnight spot. The clearing they discovered looked ideal, a soft creek nearby and thick trees muffling outside noise, but small details nagged at them. Empty alcohol bottles wedged in a tree, spent shotgun shells and scattered glass glinting in the fading light. Deep tire ruts that suggested off-road traffic. Odd, but not enough to force a change of plans. They set up camp and started dinner. Then engines growled in the distance. Two four-wheelers emerged from the woods and rolled to a stop directly in front of their truck and camper. The riders never spoke, never waved, never even removed their helmets. They simply stood there, watching. Minutes stretched like hours. With no cell signal and dusk thickening, the silence felt heavy. Nick and Julie exchanged quiet looks, each reading the same alarm in the other's face. After what they later described as close to 20 minutes, the strangers turned and drove back into the forest without a word. The couple didn't wait to see if they'd return. They packed their gear with shaky efficiency and left the site behind, headlights cutting through the dark as they searched for a safer location. Nothing physical happened. No threats, no damage. But the tension was unmistakable. This wasn't a chance meeting of friendly riders. From the abandoned bottles and gun shells to the unmoving figures on ATVs, the encounter carried a message without a single spoken word. Viewers who watched the footage debated the motive. Was it a territorial warning to outsiders? A prank meant to scare? Or something worse that never had the chance to play out? Whatever the explanation, Nick and Julie's choice to trust their instincts probably spared them from learning what might have happened next.
I am parked on the side of a road. I have parked across from a bit of a clearing. After last week's video where I had a little bit of aggro, I decided this week I'm just going to come out in the middle of nowhere so that I can have a little bit of downtime. Cozy. All being well, I'll see you in the morning. Good night. A car's just pulled up and it sounds like they're walking around the van. My door's stuck. What the actual see that?
Across the Atlantic, a well-known UK camping vlogger named Sean set out in February 2024 for what he thought would be a calm solo escape. His channel normally highlights quiet woodland scenery and the simple rhythm of van life. This trip, filmed on a lonely roadside clearing deep in the countryside, turned into something else entirely. The evening began like hundreds of other uploads. A peaceful hike through damp winter woods, a cup of tea, a cozy sign-off as darkness settled. By 3 a.m., everything changed. First came a slow, crunching roll of tires on gravel. Then headlights flared against the curtains of his camper van. Footsteps followed, measured, deliberate, circling the vehicle in the pitch black. Sean held his breath and listened as the intruders lingered. After a few tense minutes, the vehicle outside suddenly roared away into the night. Relief was short-lived. When dawn finally crept through the frosted windows, Sean reached for the door to stretch his legs. It wouldn't budge. The handle jammed. A second try, still sealed. He shoved harder until plastic cracked with a loud snap. Outside, the truth emerged. Heavy-duty zip ties had been cinched tight across both the side and rear door handles, effectively locking him inside. Whoever came during the night hadn't just snooped. They had planned to trap him. The implications were chilling. Zip ties aren't an impulse prank. Someone had prepared them, approached silently, and worked fast enough to bind every exit without waking him. Their only miscalculation. Sean had stirred when he heard those first footsteps. Why would someone do this? It could have been a theft gone wrong, someone planning to immobilize the van before siphoning fuel or breaking in. It might have been territorial locals sending a harsh warning to overnight campers. Or it could have been something more sinister, the kind of motive that's left unspoken. Whatever the reason, the act required stealth, tools, and forethought. If he had slept through the night, he might have woken to find every door sealed while strangers decided their next move. For viewers, the footage is unnerving precisely because of what's not caught on camera. There's no dramatic chase, just a quiet, methodical attempt to confine someone miles from help.
Can ignore that. Here it is. Just gonna have to cross over this. I'm just scared, guys. What's that?
Brand new YouTube channel that set out to record something simple. A short nighttime gear test and a few moody shots of the woods. The creator didn't even share their name, only a date, July 7th, 2025, and a rough location somewhere in the American Northeast. What they captured instead feels like a scene pulled straight from a nightmare. The video begins with nothing more than the beam of a flashlight bobbing through thick trees. Leaves crackle underfoot. Damp air hangs heavy, and each breath fogs in the cold. There's no music or narration, just the crunch of steps and an occasional snap from somewhere beyond the light. Minutes pass, then a faint thump echoes deeper in the forest. The hiker whispers a shaky, "Hello?" but keeps walking. More sounds follow, branches shifting, a soft scrape like something brushing against bark. Each noise stops the moment they pause, as if whatever's out there knows exactly when to go still. Then it happens. The flashlight catches two faintly glowing eyes, far down the path. They hover at human height, reflecting white for a second before dimming again. The figure behind them never moves. No shifting weight, no obvious breathing, no animal-like twitch. Just a silent outline staring back. You can hear the panic in the hiker's voice. They murmur that they definitely saw something, then go quiet, torn between running and filming. Instead of approaching, they slowly back away, the camera trembling with every step. The clip ends abruptly as they retreat, and the description offers only one line: going back soon to see if it was real. Speculation lit up the comments. Some viewers argued it was a deer, its eyes perfectly caught by the beam. Others pointed out that deer usually flick their ears, turn their heads, or bolt when a human speaks. The stillness of this figure felt different, too measured, too deliberate. Whatever those eyes belonged to, they watched without fear until the hiker left. And with no follow-up video so far, no one knows what or who stood waiting in that dense stretch of woods.
So some Bud Light cans, plastic bat, some writing on some of this garbage. This one. Hangman is coming down from the gallows. Song lyrics, other weird things. Well, hopefully I don't get murdered out here. That would totally ruin my day. Well, let's keep going. Weirdness continues. What the hell? And there's a dead duck here. A very long note. And it looks like it was just put here because it's not wet. That duck is fairly recently killed. Alright. Kind of creepy. So, I'm going to check out the shelter log here. I hang out by the fire. Almost every shelter on the Appalachian Trail has a shelter log where people write in their trail names and what's going on. They can write whatever they want in there. So it's kind of cool tradition here. So let's see what this one says. Little engine, back section. Hiking again finally. Great day on the AT. This was in August. Huh. Someone left some PBRs here, I guess. It's nice and little trail magic. Ah, some comics and... Holy crap. Wait a second. Hold on, I'm adjust the camera here. This writing looks almost exactly like the writing that was on that garbage a couple of miles from here. Let's see if this makes any sense. Sorry if the lighting's bad. I'm just gonna see what it says. Cleaned the outhouse. Picked up trash. Collected wood for others. See Charlie Daniels' Simple Man lyrics.
The fifth account follows Phil, creator of the Hike Slam channel, whose videos usually showcase serene treks through Virginia's Blue Ridge and Appalachian terrain. In November 2021, just a day before Thanksgiving, he set out for what should have been a routine overnight hike. Within the first half hour, the calm began to fracture. Along the trail, he spotted scattered litter, empty beer cans, a dented plastic bat, and scraps of paper marked with jagged handwriting. One phrase stood out like a flare, song lyrics about a hanging. Phil tried to shrug it off, joking to the camera that it was creepy but harmless, and kept moving. Soon the trail delivered something stranger. On a mossy rock lay a freshly killed duck, deliberately positioned beside a carefully folded, lengthy, handwritten note. The paper was dry despite damp air, suggesting it had been placed recently. The eerie stillness around the spot made the discovery even harder to dismiss. Deciding caution was better than curiosity, Phil left the area and hiked a couple miles to a well-known trail shelter, hoping other hikers might arrive. Darkness fell without company. To pass time, he opened the shelter's logbook, a kind of communal journal where hikers share updates. Inside, he found an entry whose handwriting matched the scrawls on the roadside trash. The words were a tangle of unrelated fragments, old song lyrics, cryptic Bible references, mentions of jail time and political conspiracies. The match in handwriting was too exact to be coincidence. Whoever had left the earlier items had also been at this shelter, maybe hours or days before, maybe still nearby. That night, Phil heard footsteps crunching in the leaves outside. They paused, shifted, paused again. No voices, no flashlight beams, just slow, deliberate movement circling the shelter. Heart pounding, he packed his gear and hiked back toward his car in the dark, covering miles by headlamp to put distance between himself and whoever was out there. The unsettling trail of evidence, the song lyrics, the fresh duck, the identical handwriting, points to something far beyond random littering. Was it an unstable individual leaving cryptic messages? Someone stalking hikers for reasons only they understood? Nothing definitive was ever found, but the pattern feels intentional, as if the unknown author wanted their presence felt long after they were gone.
It was probably around like 1:30 in the morning when I heard someone walking around my truck. And whenever you're sleeping, somewhere public and you hear somebody walking right outside your truck, it's always a little bit alarming. So what you'll see here in a second, he pulls out his phone and starts taking pictures. It looks like of my license plate or something like that. I'm not sure why he was doing this. So I thought maybe, I wasn't allowed to park there and he was taking pictures of my license plate, but it's kind of odd to be doing that at 1:30 in the morning. And he didn't look like a security guard or anything like that. Comes back around and tries to shine his flashlight into the back of my camper shell. You'll see here in a second. And I just bang on the window and he takes off running. So he probably wasn't expecting that.
Our final story rewinds to December 2017, when the creator of the Roadie channel, known for peaceful road life vlogs, experienced an encounter that still rattles viewers. He was car camping for the night in a public lot, the kind of routine stop countless travelers make to rest between drives. Around 1:30 a.m., routine turned to dread. A faint scrape of shoes on pavement woke him. Half asleep, he first thought it was a passing pedestrian. Then the footsteps slowed and circled his truck. Through the thin walls of the camper's shell, he heard someone stop, shift, and move again, always close, never speaking. Peeking through a small gap, he saw a hooded man pacing methodically around the vehicle. The stranger pulled out a phone and began snapping photos of the license plate and different angles of the truck, as though cataloging every detail. No uniform, no visible ID, just a lone figure recording a private vehicle in the dead of night. For several minutes, the man continued this slow inspection, unaware that anyone was inside. The tension builds on camera in real time. The creator stays silent, holding his breath as the man leans closer. Then comes the moment that raised every alarm. a bright beam of light sweeping across the side windows as the intruder tried to look inside. That was enough. From inside the dark truck bed, the YouTuber slammed a fist against the glass. The reaction was instant. The hooded man jerked back and sprinted into the night, disappearing before the camera could catch more than a blur. No words were exchanged, and no damage was done. Yet the questions left behind are the most chilling part. Why photograph someone's license plate at 1:30 a.m.? Was he planning a break-in, scouting the vehicle for theft, or something more personal? The stranger's quick escape suggests he had no intention of being confronted,